Hello and welcome to Garage Night, and we've got a treat. So this is Jeff's 1950 Chevy Styleline. He's completely built this basically from the ground up. It was rust from about here down, completely custom suspension, ride tech all the way around, custom suspension. He's cobbled together about 8 different types of cars to make this one as it is. I drove it in its infancy after it was running, but I haven't driven it since he's had the interior done, the suspension redone, I think twice. So I finally get to drive this again and compare it from when I first drove it. When it would do the 1-2 shift, it would slam the rear end as it would come up, the driveline would come up into the body. So he has quelled all those issues, and I really look forward to driving it. I'm gonna let Jeff give you all the technical specifications on it, and we're gonna go drive this thing.
So this is a 1950 Chevy Styleline 2-door sedan, and I pulled this out of a field out in Yakima, Ellensburg area. Really cool car, and the guy told me, you know, all the glass is good, it's straight. It wasn't. It had rust basically from middle of the fender about here into the door. Rockers were gone, like all the way around the car. Tail pan, the window frames were rotted out. And at the time I needed a project, so I decided to take this thing on and, you know, build what I've always wanted, which is like a 4950 Chevy. I just think they're the most beautiful cars. So I brought this thing home. I sourced an L98 roller cam 350 from an IROC Camaro, tossed that in there. I got a 700 R4 transmission in it. It's got vintage air conditioning set up. I just redid the suspension. It's Mustang 2 in the front, and I used a New Edge steering rack from a 2000 Mustang with Fox body tie rods and Mustang 2 outer tie rods, and it's got Granada rotors and G-body brakes and a Ford 8.8 limited slip rear. The steering column's out of a C10, and it's shortened about 4 inches. It's an automatic column. And the horn button is out of a 51 Pontiac, which is pretty cool and pretty ratty when I got it, and it's just about done now, I think. So like to take everybody out for a ride. Give that one a good slam there.
There we go.
Right.
Wow, this is so much more comfortable than last time. Look at that. I'm not sure we had seat belts. I think we did.
Oh yeah, we had seat belts. We just didn't have a very good seat to sit on. It was a little rat infested and springy.
Yeah, I'm surprised there was a front seat. The back, there is not only no back seat in it. I'll figure it out.
Yep. So it's the big square key there.
All right.
And you shouldn't need to pump her or anything. Just crank her over and she'll fire right up. Super easy.
It just comes on. You got a couple of different mirrors going on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's good. That way you can see behind you and behind you. So you know.
Parking brake or not?
No parking brake. Right. You're good. Yep. Steering by comparison.
So we've only done a couple of real corners, but pulling back into traffic, I'll say that the steering's not over boosted. You know, I drive a lot of modern cars, and they're over boosted to different extents. You know, the BMWs kind of give you an artificial heavier steering, which is nice, but this feels more direct, whereas those feel firm and heavy, but you can still feel you're isolated from the steering itself. Whereas this, you can kind of feel the pump boosting and lightening the effort, but you still have to, I mean, I could steer it with one hand. That's a great upgrade, but I'm still more comfortable with both hands on the wheel. It's smooth, and it is direct. Now, Jeff was telling me earlier that it's incredibly fast and almost twitchy, and I will disagree. I think the steering on this is phenomenal.
That's good.
This is exactly how direct I want it to be. take a hand off the wheel is in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Because coming up to another one crossover there, and then back.
And it's not, rocket ship fast, being that it's I think you actually might be in. There you go. Now you're in overdrive.
Okay.
But you can see when you're going straight that even the slightest movement is going to make it. So you kind of I always just kind of like, as I've learned to get used to it, just kind of, let the car do its thing, and it tends to track pretty true.
Yeah, it doesn't have much slop, and it does have a little bit of dead on center right there, which is good. You want a little bit. Now, this is not the what I was worried about it being. I was going to say death trap, but it's how I want steering to be. This is exactly how I'd have it. You do have to pay attention. Probably a little more challenging when you're doing 70 down the freeway. You got to focus up a little more. I have some cars that you have to nanny a little bit more than others, and this would probably require a little bit more paying attention in driving. But with a car like this, I feel that's what you want anyway, right?
Yeah.
The LTD would probably be less steering input at 70 than this, but I like that this being a unfortunately more performance-oriented hot rod in comparison. This is how I would prefer it to be, is you have that more connection with the suspension. And the suspension, I'll say, though not supple, right? Like,
no, it's not LTD soft by any means.
That would be a really strange combination for us to review against each other, but it's kind of the closest we have, right?
Right.
This feels somewhere between my E39 5 Series and my Ford Ranger.
There we go. Yeah.
It's kind of got the small bump shutters through the chassis that I get from like a Ranger.
Yeah.
But it's more composed than that, and it's quicker and more responsive, more like the E39 was. So I appreciate all that about it, and the car still has some wind noise and some rattles.
Oh,
but overall, we couldn't have recorded in the car before the interior. It couldn't happen.
Oh no, you would have to have mics, and even then it would have been really bad.
No, it would have been. Basically, we would have just had to listen in and dub over.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
This is comfortable, and like you said, it's got AC, it's got heater, it's got vents, it's got everything you need it to have.
Yeah.
I assume all the gauges work.
Yeah.
So it's got temperature, gas, battery, oil, speedometer. It's got everything you need, and the clock
doesn't have anything in the clock.
There's no.
I removed all of the stuff from the clock.
But it's still cool.
Yeah.
But it's got all the gauges you do need, right?
Yeah.
This is surprisingly easy to drive. I've been bugging Jeff for the last few days about trying to drive this, because he mentioned, oh, you should drive it since it's been redone with the steering. I'm like, it's been longer than that. And this is genuinely a joy to drive. I'm not just saying it. This is actually a lot of fun. Just driving through town. This is a relatively budget build, like relatively. I mean, if you compare it against the 50 to 100 grand that most people spend restoring a car, and the kind of rust that this had and the features that it does have, you're able to keep the costs substantially down. This is an attainable vehicle.
Yeah, I don't think when I first started this, I didn't realize how much expense there is in cars. Like, I only paid $800 for this car, but I've put, I'm about 20 something into it now, and
but
that's
still,
just
to
like
take something in that condition that was rusted from the waist down, and no drivetrain, essentially. I mean, everything from where your knees sit down on this car, from sheet metal to mechanics, it's all new. Well, not new, but like new to the vehicle and custom. Like, this thing didn't have a drivetrain, it didn't have suspension, not that was of any use. So you basically took a shell which was half rotten.
Right.
This car should not have survived. This is one of those things.
No, this was a parts car for sure.
Yeah, there was nothing left to this car.
Yeah.
So as far as like a rescuing a car. This is as rescue as you can get because it wouldn't be cost effective.
Yeah.
To do, but you did a lot of it yourself and you learned a lot doing it, and so now a lot of other things are smaller potatoes for you.
We should play a game, and I want you to guess which part in here is original and still working and in use.
Okay, I'll see how well we can describe that for the viewers. Okay,
So
go for it.
the only part in the entire car that has not been replaced, repaired in any way, and is still working as it was intended back in, the 50s.
Okay.
What do you like? Take a guess. What single part
One
did I not
single part.
change or have to rebuild to make it work correctly?
Now, my first guess might be cheating a little bit. I'm gonna say it's the radio.
No.
No, I was thinking, maybe the radio still works, because I know you
The
put in
radio-
a ReadyRad system in this. Correct?
No, it's totally custom.
And see, I know a lot of it won't be engine related, like oil pressure sensor, that sort of a thing. That's not going to be it because it's a completely different engine, completely different suspension.
I did lie. There's two things that
Okay,
that
there's
still
two
work
things.
that are original.
Still, if I could get one of them.
If you could get one, you'd be.
Can I see it from where I'm sitting?
Yes.
Okay, so it's something visually. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the ignition.
Nope.
No.
That's all new.
So the ignition cylinder is new. Okay.
I'll give you one more guess, and then I gotta tell you.
Okay, I'm gonna say the battery voltage.
Oh, you were so close. Fuel gauge.
That's my next guess. I swear.
Everyone
It was gonna
has
be
the fuel gauge. Says the fuel gauge. Oh, they always fail. That's original, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it works.
And it works. Yeah.
Man,
It's crazy.
I have newer cars that those don't work properly.
I know, right?
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, what's the other thing?
So the driver's door latch.
Driver's door latch.
Yeah.
Hey, at least, that's two completely original, two survivor parts on the car.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things that I guess I could argue are working in some capacity that I've had to fix, but those are like literally untouched, working from the time I got the car to now that you could step on it.
That's not a slouch. I'll say the torque feels good.
It's a really good, like,
All that without breaking the speed limit. But
we're done, yeah.
But that's the fun. That's the fun of it, right? Like, I'd rather drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow, but this is what I consider to be that beautiful middle ground, right? Like a 15-second quarter-mile car
Yeah.
is just this beautiful zone where you have enough, like the torque at launch felt really good. I feel like it's a good balance of